Welcome back, everyone, inside the Fit Aid Lounge. We just watched the end of the individual competition take place. Morning Chalk-Up Show, Tommy Marquez, Brittany Klein here. This show is brought to you guys by Nike. An exciting day one of competition here at the CrossFit Games. Just big picture, what really stood out to you after we saw the first couple of events and the first couple of cuts in this new system?
Well, first thing, we've made it. We survived day one, all done and dusted. But for me, being an amateur CrossFitter, we're getting back to basics, just real hardcore CrossFit. My coach at home says it doesn't have to be fancy, and Dave Castro showed us that with the programming. He's cut the field in half just with basic CrossFitting. And as we saw in that event, you know, rowing, push press, handstand walk.
Not the usual day one type events that we're used to seeing, you know, classic, a triplet. We got to see a little bit of a chipper, a triplet chipper there. So like you said, some more of the classic CrossFit, but we've used it kind of thin the field. On top of the athletes getting a good workout, we talked a little bit earlier in one of our previous shows about how fans can get a good workout as well. One of those things is dropping in and supporting your local affiliate. You got to experience that firsthand, Brittany, and you got to check out CrossFit Connex and explore what it's like for the affiliate to have so many drop-ins during Games Week.
It is a massive week for the boxers here in Madison, Wisconsin, with thousands of CrossFitters descending on the city. This morning we've dropped into CrossFit Connex to see how they're coping with the demand and what this week means for the local businesses here in the city.
So I'm Sade, I'm the owner here at CrossFit Connex. I'm incredibly excited, it's already going, so I mean, I look forward to, it's kind of, I'm just in the thick of it already. So we've had a ton of drop-ins, so starting on, I was actually on vacation, so over the weekend we had a lot of drop-ins while I was gone, and then since then, a lot of games athletes coming through.
Colin from CrossFit OC3. Well, I own a local box, CrossFit OC3, so being able to drop in whenever you want. Brian, the owner here, has been fantastic to all of us and the team. It's been truly a family feeling when you get a drop in, and you know, there's no questions asked.
We've had free drop-ins for all people that are competing from anywhere around the world. So we've had a lot of people from, I think that's Serbia, fit us in Dominican, fit us in like Czech Republic, all over. So.
Chris Partridge or Pardo from Brisbane, Australia. I wanted to cure my jet lag. So 26 or so hours in transit yesterday. First thing I wanted to do was try and have a sleep, which didn't go so well. And so I thought I'd come work out, see if I can annihilate myself and go to sleep later. It's good, like it was really fun to come and just do a workout somewhere different. It helps when you're running people you know, when you're here. But it was just, it was good to just get out, do something, so then that way I can, just get a bit of fitness in as well.
So good. It's actually kind of hard.
Your members live here 365 days a year. What does it mean for the city of Madison to have the games hosted here?
Well, for the city of Madison, it's huge. I mean, we get so many. It's funny, we get so excited about it. Promoting it. I've had members come up to me that run businesses that want to know what they can do to kind of promote themselves during the games. And it brings so many people together within this space, and we get to meet people from all over the world.
How much does this week motivate your members to keep coming back on Monday, and they're back here at 5 a.m. I'm guessing?
It's actually funny. I think there's a little lag right after. It's kind of like the most exciting thing of your life happens, and then you like go back to your mundane Monday, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you remember like, hey, those people were doing these things, and they were like super fun to watch, and we kind of start talking about it all again, and it definitely pushes them to keep coming in.
Well, we had an absolute blast here in Madison this week. Make sure you drop into your local box. I can also see that, Tommy, you've also been here before, but no score. Does that mean you didn't finish?
Throwing me under the bus, Brittany. You know what? I got to vouch for myself. I actually did do the workout. I told them my score. They didn't write it up, but I do know I beat Roy McKernan.
And well, maybe we'll have to go to another box in Madison this week. Have a throwdown, me v you.
Ooh, she's throwing down the gauntlet. All right, let's see it. I like it. Either way, if you get a chance, support your local affiliate. Go check out some of the wonderful boxes that you have here in Madison, Wisconsin. Turning our attention back now to the competition, we're going to start with the teams. And here's a look at the overall standings after day number one of the team competition here in Madison, Wisconsin. The 2019 Reebok CrossFit Games, one day in the bag for the teams, and at the top of the leaderboard, again, No surprise, we should get used to this, I guess, by now, is CrossFit Mayhem Freedom. 293 out of a possible 300 points. They got 2 event wins and then a second in one event as well. They're just ahead of CrossFit Krypton, already building themselves a little bit of a lead. Central Beast, team that didn't get a lot of publicity so far, coming into the competition holding strong in 3rd. And then Invictus making a huge leap up the leaderboard into 4th. A couple of other teams, OC3 Black, also kind of battling their way back as well. So taking a look at this leaderboard and the events that we saw on day number 1, what really was your big takeaway here for the teams?
Well, not taking anything away from Mayhem Freedom, first and second, I think it was, in the 3 events. Experience really showed in that lifting event. Obviously, the ticker, it was hot out there on the field, and having to come out and do a 1RM clean and jerk, the experience of Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet and Jessica Griffiths really showed for Krypton, and I think that's why they're so high up on the leaderboard after day 1.
Yeah, definitely. And taking a look at the leaderboard right now, I just mentioned Invictus. If you guys haven't taken a look at the points in terms of how the scoring gets adjusted for the teams as this competition goes along, definitely go take a look. Invictus was one of the bottom 3 after event 1, jumped up to the top 4 after event 2. I think we're going to see more of that, especially as the field gets thinned out. So get used to some of these swings and jumps that we'll see along the weekend. It could make for an exciting team competition.
And we're yet to hear about the team cuts as well,
yes,
knowing that they're coming down.
Exactly. We're going to cut down to, I believe it is 11 teams next. So we'll have to see who makes the cut and when they're actually going to make it to see, thin the field out a little bit on the team's competition. Switching over to the men's side of things and taking a look at the overall standings on the men's side of the house after day number 1. It's Matt Fraser. We're having a little bit of a technical difficulty. It's Matt Fraser, of course, in first place overall. Goes 2 for 2 into both events, winning them both. Again, Matt Fraser doing what Matt Fraser does, that's win events, and he's starting off strong. Just behind him in second is Scott Panchik. James Newberry's in 3rd, the Aussie, having a strong showing so far. Scott Panchik in 4th, a relative who's
Ben
who.
Smith, I'll just
yeah, Ben Smith, yeah, a relative who's who of CrossFit, kind of filling out the top 5. The only rookie so far in the top 10, Sam Cornoyer, having a strong performance. He trains over there with the Deca Comp crew and Patrick Vellner. So taking a look at the men's side of things, I know we can't get the leaderboard up for you guys right now. What really stands out to you after day 1 for the men?
You said it there, right there. It's the who's who of CrossFit. We're seeing names like Scott Panchik, Ben Smith, and a late wildcard entry, and I think Justin tipped it this morning, or he was one of his podium picks. So just seeing that experience up there on the leaderboard. And like I said, it's just true CrossFit, and the guys, the veterans of our sport, the heroes of our sport are really showing.
I totally agree, and I have to give some credit where credit is due. Matt Fraser sent a little bit of CrossFit Games history, the first individual athlete to win both of the opening events to start the CrossFit Games, going 2 for 2 on day number 1. We've seen him do it at regionals, we've seen him win multiple events at the Open, but never has anyone as an individual opened the CrossFit Games with back-to-back event wins. And what better man to do it than a guy who's really run away with the competition the last 3 years on the men's side of things. Going to switch over to the women's side as well. We just watched Danielle Brandon win event 2, the CrossFit Games rookie, a strong performance. But after 2 events on the women's side, your overall leader is Carrie Pierce, followed closely behind Annie Thorisdottir, Tia Claire Toomey, Kristen Holta, Brooke Wells, and then rookie Haley Adams. A strong showing from Carrie Pierce, strong showing from Danielle Brandon, actually puts her in the top 10. But what's your big takeaway for the women's side?
My big takeaway was my podium pick to take number 1, Sarah Sigmundsdottir. We were all talking about how good she was looking, but it's some mental mistakes that have been the real thing for her. In that last event, we saw her, she was facing first in her heat, but a little mistake there, and she dropped back to 5th. So I'm a little bit worried about Sarah's mental game, but hopefully we can see her in the next few days. I'm hearing that she has made the cut and hasn't been cut this early in the game, but we definitely need to see Sarah up her game if she wants to continue.
Yeah, Sarah Sigmundsdottir makes the jump from 40th overall after event number 1 to 24th overall. Still has a little bit of breathing room. Remember, we're going to cut to 40 and to 30. Not quite sure when those cuts are going to happen, but she'll definitely want to keep moving up the leaderboard if she wants to get back onto the CrossFit Games podium. One thing that really stood out to me, you called it Haley Adams a little bit as one of the surprise rookies, having a strong performance thus far. Really impressed to see the youngster. I had a chance to train with her out in Mayhem last week, and she absolutely impressed. Her engine is insane. That's why she's been a team champion before. Carrie Pierce trying to end the U.S. drought, atop the leaderboard right now, trying to get back on the podium. So certainly an impressive performance from her as well. So far, we've had a few things going on around the campus. You got a chance to talk to some vendors over at Vendor Village. Walking through Vendor Village, what was the kind of vibe there? What did you see? What's going on for these fans here on site to kind of chew up as they walk through the CrossFit Games?
Well, I think for me, being a first timer here at the CrossFit Games, it's really exciting. There's a vibe out on the floor, but speaking to the vendors as well, they're obviously here to sell their products, but it's really great to see them engaging with their customers. I spoke to some of the guys from Caffeine and Kilos. They say, you know, now a lot of it's online. We're engaging on Instagram, Facebook, but it's great to be able to meet with the customers. And these guys are CrossFitters themselves. Often you'll find that they've created these businesses because they know what we need to train in our local box. So great new products, lots of freebies. So if you're on the ground here, make sure you go and check out the Vendor Village. It's exciting and there's lots to do. I don't know whether we put together a package for you. If that's not showing, make sure you jump on the Morning Chalk Up website, because we'll have it up there for you and kind of showcase some of the products that are on offer here this weekend.
All of our features are available that we run in the show on the Morning Chalk Up YouTube. Be sure to check that out. Get some little extra CrossFit Games action there if you couldn't get enough from the live stream. It's going on all day. I know I like to check YouTube late at night. Keeps me up, you know. It's bad for your sleep, but whatever. Also, if you go to Vendor Village, be sure to bring an extra bag. Like she said, tons of freebies. All of your favorite brands handing out stuff left and right. A lot of games exclusives that you can only get here as well. So be sure to check that out. Before we sign off for the day, Brittany, reflecting on day one, teams, individuals, what would you say your favorite day one moment was?
For me, it might have gone missed, and I don't know whether anyone at home saw it on the coverage. Event 1, Heat 1 for the men. Ben Smith obviously floored it, schooled all the new national champions that this was his school, you know, welcome to my school, this is how we play. But as he finished, you know, a lot of the men didn't even finish this event, but he stood there and he cheered on these national champions. He was right there beside them. I don't know who the competitor was, but they were failing snatch after snatch, but there was Ben, you know, on hand and knee like a coach at your local box, cheering him home right through the time cap. So that's what our sport's about, and it's good to see the top in our sport still giving us that, you know, great CrossFit ethos.
One of the things that makes CrossFit Games so great, you know, Ben Smith, you know, he's a top level competitor, former CrossFit Games champion, but he owns CrossFit Krypton. He's a coach there. You know, sometimes you can't take the coach out of the athlete. Yes, a very, very humble athlete. I have to say, my favorite moment so far, day number one, was watching Chandler Smith absolutely crush event number one. He took second overall. We talked to Chandler at the athlete dinner. He was worried about getting cut after event number one. And not only did he make the cut, he was in the top three. A fantastic performance from a CrossFit Games rookie. He's been a fan favorite since 2016 when he showed up at the Atlantic Regional, almost chased down Ben Smith in one of my favorite highlights when he was just ripping through the 405 deadlifts. He's had a couple of rough seasons the last couple of years, obviously with his hand injury and you know, his duties obviously being in the U.S. military and the Army. So nice to see him out in the CrossFit competition floor at the games on the biggest level and doing well. So Chandler, big fan of you. Happy to see you succeed, buddy.
And the fans love him, cheering him home on that handstand walk. The crowd goes crazy.
And I'll give him some credit. I think he's got the best style of any CrossFit Games athlete. At the athlete dinner, was looking awesome. Had an awesome
Nike
Army
kicks.
Oh yeah, had an awesome Army jersey from his time at West Point. So really cool. Love to see him have a good time. That's going to do it for us here at the Morning Chalk Up set and the Morning Chalk Up show for day number one. If you guys are coming to the CrossFit Games for the next 3 days, be sure to stop by the Fit Aid Lounge. Come say hi, come hang out, have a nice cold beverage, get some AC in between the events, and we'll be broadcasting. You might see yourself in the background here. For Brittany Klein, I'm Tommy Marquez. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
By day 4, we'll be like...